Welcome to the Good in Motion podcast. Before we start this episode, let me introduce today's guest, Marjorie Le Borgne. Born and raised in France and now settled in beautiful Vancouver, she's a lifelong athlete. Black belt judoka by 16, later hooked on boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, surfing, skiing, and just about any adventure that gets her moving. What makes Marjorie's story special is that she first built a career in communications, then recently took the leap to turn her passion for sports into her profession as a certified personal trainer. In our conversation, we'll go behind the scenes of that transition, the wins, the challenges, and everything in between, to learn how she's navigating this new chapter and what it really takes to change careers. Marjorie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for welcoming me.
It's good to have you here, and as our listeners will shortly understand, we usually both speak French when we chat.
Yeah, that's true. So it's gonna be fun to speak together in English today.
Yes.
Maybe your first time, actually.
I think so, yeah, absolutely. And today we're going to learn more about your story and your journey into business and changing career, because you and I have been checking in sometimes with a few months in between.
Yeah.
So each time we will chat, I will get an update on what's going on in your life. And even when we met before preparing this interview, there was also a new chapter in your career journey. So could you bring us up to speed on what happened and the recent events in your career change?
As you say in the introduction, I have 7 years of experience as communication and marketing manager. I'm specialized mainly digital marketing and so on. Love that. Love creating content. I'm a creative person, so I still loving doing that. And at one point I was like, oh, okay, I feel I'm missing something. I was missing to be more active on my way. I realized that I've been sitting down in front of my computer 8 hours per day, come back home, doing my training, but then come back on my sofa and sit down again. And I was like, I'm not sure that's what I want to do for all my life. So I always been passionate about sports. As you say, I did judo. I started at 4 years old and I keep doing that. In my family, it was super important to practice sports. So for me, it was always practicing sport is part of my journey and my day-to-day and my hobbies and my routine. So it's not an issue for me. I know sometimes some people need motivation and so on, but for me, I'm not really. I can motivate myself to go there. And at one point, so I starting to get experience in judo, now in boxing, and I was switching roles. I was not the beginner. I was the person with expertise who can introduce people to this sport and say, hey, I'm Marjorie and I can help you. Today we're going to work together on the bike and I would be happy to help you. Just have the person at the other client, but just I can give you a little bit extra and help you today during this session. And I was like, oh, that was fun, actually. I like that. I like sharing my passion and see people improve in their technique and so on, and coming back and being happy because they know you. So they already have, okay, I know Marjorie, so I know I'm not going to be by myself. And yeah, I was chatting one day with my partner. I was like, okay, I'm not sure I will do communication for all my life. I think I want to explore something else. I think I was already talking about sports, and we've been looking online for some certification. And I remember I was back in Europe at this time. It was in April, and we saw a certification starting in May. And it's okay, do it. It was not that's crazy expensive certification, so worth it also. So I'm okay, so yeah, let's go back to school. So that's how I become personal trainer. After a year of doing both personal training but also communication, I decided just to go full-time for personal training. And I don't know if you want to jump in right now, but entrepreneur life, some stuff happens. I think we can chat a little bit more about this, but roller coaster,
Yeah, absolutely. And I will ask a specific question about what happened recently. But just to make sure I understood correctly about what triggered you to do the certification, is it that you were already introducing the sports that you were practicing to beginners,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe with your friends or your circle, and then you just decided to get certified to do it?
Yeah, so at one point I was doing the training with the groups, I was helping the new person, and I was like, oh, I like teaching. I really enjoy teaching people and so on. I was training by myself. I like, oh, I want to learn a little bit more also. How can I build up my training? So I think it was both like sharing my passion with people, but also like me, how can I know better about this field, about like sport training, conditioning, and also like find another career journey. It was like, okay, that's cool. So maybe I can explore that. Maybe it can be like a side hustle, something like this. And yeah, so it's kind of a mix. And it was also like going step by step, just like, okay, let's try something new. Like if you do the certification and you do nothing after, that's okay. At least you will learn something. For me, it was my first time like doing some study in English also. So I was like, that's a big step. That's a big milestone, to be honest. Yeah, so first it's like, let's give it a try.
I really like that you took this as an experiment and you gave
Yeah.
yourself already kind of a backup of like, let's just try. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out, whatever, I tried it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great approach, a safe approach to start with.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's one of the things that I learned. I've been like entrepreneur, if I can say that, for like a couple of months now. And it's just about trying. I think it's at the end of the day, it's like, did you try? And if you try, I mean, that's good. So yeah, that's one thing that I can share. Just try.
Okay, and I will just already remove the veil
Oh.
on what we didn't share at this point in this conversation, which is that unfortunately recently you've been injured,
Mm-hmm.
and it brought a new light on building a career where you move your body, and so you have an injury and you're waiting for an operation. What new perspectives did that bring on your journey?
I decided to go full time like 1st of April. And on the 5th of April, I was skiing in Whistler. I was really bold. I was really, let's go, last day of the session. I was coming back from Costa Rica, having my best life. So to be honest, I was really feeling like unstoppable. But actually, the only person who can stop me was myself. That's one of their first lessons because I felt the slope was too icy, it was super hard, I was too fast in the turn, didn't find my grips. I felt not crazy like pain or so on, but then when I tried to get back on my ski, my knees was wiggling. So I was like, oh, and a bad feeling inside. I was like, something is really, really wrong. Yeah, so I had like the diagnostic like 2 days later, and I torn my ACL. So, okay. So I went to the emergency. The doctor did a test and was really straightforward with me. It was like, okay, you turn your ACL. How old are you? Okay. What are you doing? Personal training. You need a surgery. I was like, okay, cool. So in just like 5 minutes, all my plans were just like scrambled. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And right now, when you take the decision to do this big, like, moving and change in your life, and you have this event happening in your life, you're like, what the sign? What the sign behind this? What should I learn? What should I do? Like, okay, so first it was just take it and take care of yourself. You have to do some rehab, you have to go slow. I was still able to teach because I was still able to walk, and you have this diagnostic from the doctor, but it's also say you need an MRI to confirm if it's a full tear or if it's a partial one. For like a couple of weeks, I was like, I don't know, and it was not too bad. So I was like, maybe it's just a partial one. So I was trying to do my life as it's supposed to be. People was really surprised, but one day I did the MRI and it was pretty clear. It said total rupture. So I was like, okay, so we have to make plan. Since I talk with you, I get my date for my surgery. It's gonna be in October, so I was like, okay, let's plan something like a backup. But definitely, that was my first roller coaster in the life as an entrepreneur.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry to hear this. How do you feel now?
I feel good, to be honest, because I quickly like adapt my lifestyle with that. Seeing that I will be still able like to teach clients, that was funny. Like my months of April was super, super busy, and I get new clients during this month. So I was like, okay, that's cool, because without one knee, I can still teaching and people still want to work with me. So that was great. And so first what I learned is transparency. Just share with your clients. Say, hey, here what happened. I'm injured. I've done that, but that's okay. It's not me doing your workouts. It's going to be you. And I'll be there for you. And so that was the first thing. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to learn from that, from my injury, because you realize a lot of your clients have knee injuries. So it's like, okay, how can I help them to get better? And now I have this experience I'm going through. I know what I've done to get better, so I can share that with them. So that's a second point. And then I learned like my way to teach. I was super like 100%, let's go, let's go. And it just like putting back, like, okay, put the brake on, relax, chill. And I was not able not able to show everything. So I had to speak, I had to find the right words, a new experience and a new way to teach. So still like learning from this experience. But today I feel good. I feel relieved also that I know what I have. I can get a surgery, I can get better. I know some people sometimes injure themselves and you don't really know what is going on and it takes a while. So I would say in this situation, I'm quite lucky. Touching wood right now.
Yes, me too.
Always.
What you shared really warms my heart, because I feel that between chatting with you today and chatting with you the last time, I find that you're very more hopeful today. And even with the lessons you just shared, I'm sure your clients appreciate and will appreciate that you bring that new experience in your teachings.
Yeah, this kind of job is really about relationship. At the end of the day, if you're not a human has them, it's not gonna work. When I'm showing on the other side, they say, you make this too easy. And when they're trying, it's like, it's hard. I mean, yeah, but don't compare yourself to me. It's my job. I've been doing that for a while now, so just start where you start. But if I can be a motivation for you, that's great. In this industry of everybody is super strong, super fit, and so on, it's great to say, hey, I have weakness also. Like, I'm not good, I'm doing push-up, for example. I injure my knees. In 3 months, I'm going to go back with low strength and so on. I have to rebuild my legs and so on. So it's good sometimes to like show that you're also vulnerable in front of the client and say, okay, that's more realistic. That's more the way I want to be teaching and my personal training journey. Because sometimes when you have some coach like doing some crazy stuff, you're like, I'm not going to be able to do that. And thinking about that, I want to share something because I'm also teaching group training. And I had a lot of people say, oh, I didn't want to come because I feel I'm not prepared for your class. I was like, what do you mean? They say, yeah, I want to like go to the gym before, run a little bit, have a better cardio. I'm like, no, just come as you are. Like, you don't need to have a specific level. It's fine. We're going to find alternative for you and just come. You don't have to be prepared to come to my class. Just come and have fun. So that's also what I want to say. Like, it doesn't matter where you came from, what is your background, just show up and we're going to figure out something for you.
It's so funny that you've shared this example, because it directly reminded me of a story with my dad. When I grew up, we used to go to the swimming pool every week, and we stopped eventually. And then my dad had somewhat of a good belly, and then he used to say, oh, I will go back to the swimming pool when I will lose some weight. And I'm like, don't you understand this paradox? Like, you will lose the weight when you go to the swimming pool. It's not the contrary. So it's interesting that your clients also think that they need to be prepared when actually going to the group training session is preparing.
Yeah. It's funny, and I would say, yeah, don't be ashamed. I think it's also that, and sometimes people like, they're not ashamed about their condition because they want to get better. It's mostly about, oh, what they're gonna think about me. They're gonna look for comparison. Oh, this person is better when he's doing boxing. Yeah, but because he's doing boxing like for years now. I can tell you, sometimes say, oh, this person is amazing. I'm like, yeah, you should have seen this person on this first day. And so, yeah, sometimes you have this person like super great, doing amazing, and you're watching at this person like, oh, is doing amazing, but is doing that for years. And sometimes on the first day, it was not that great. So yeah, just come as you are. That's what I want to say.
Yes, I think it's a really good reminder to have. There's a question I was excited to ask you actually. In your time since you've made this career change, and because sports is such, it seems to be such an important part of your life to relax, did you find that using your hobby or your way of maybe relaxing as your job removed you the joy of doing that hobby? And also, the follow up question is, what do you do now to relax? Is it the same things, or did you uncover new habits that help you relax now?
I still really like practicing boxing. Any kind of sport is really still my hobby and my passion. It's what I like to do to relax and so on. The more challenging part is when can I fit that? But I'm thinking like more differently. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a training. I want to do something new. So maybe I can learn a new movement. I can learn a new warm up and so on. So I think I'm going and kind of like chasing for something new. So that's also, you have a new mindset when you're doing your hobby. And now also I really enjoy when someone is like, that's your training, just do it. And I'm like, okay, good. I don't have to think about it. I just have to do it, put my brain on the side. It's still my favorite hobby and it's still my go-to. I would say I'm more also into like exploring new stuff. For example, swimming, that's something that I want to get better at. So I'm going back to the swimming pool really bad. Like I'm not a swimmer. I grew up close by the sea, so it's a bit of shame. But I'm comfortable in the water. It's just I have no technique, so I'm working on that. I think right now it's also that I want to discover different like sports and activity and just not only do them, but try to understand them a little bit better. So that's one of my thing. And then other kind of hobby that I like to do is cooking. I just cook. It's me. I like baking as well. It's also one of my hobby because I like just starting and when it's done. So it's really like relaxing for my mind. Yeah, I would say that's my two favorite hobby on her so far.
I mean, you say cooking, and I just hear nutrition, which is a really good add on to moving your body. I feel a lot of people research this combo.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a bit of balance. It depends what you're looking for and what you're moving. But they say like if your goal is to like be fitter, lose some weight, and so on, you're looking for like 70% of your effort is going to be on your plate and 30% is going to be at the gym. I think the most tips that I can say about nutrition is try to do the most by yourself. Buy fresh veggies, no transformation food, and just try to do everything by yourself. That's the best tip that I can give to like anybody.
And speaking about friends, do you have close ones or a community of people who change careers around you or have a similar mindset to you that you can start at any time, restart and explore and experiment?
Back in France, I have my godmother actually, and I remember at 40 years old, she decided like to do a certification to be a nurse. She was already like in the health industry and so on, but I remember like seeing her. I was pretty young at this time, but going back to school, coming at home because she was not super like handy with a computer, asking some question, and we were helping her. And I think she did that for 2 years. It's pretty a long journey. So I remember that and was like, oh, that's pretty brave. Like at her age, she already had a job, but she wanted to do more. But I would say it's mostly here in Canada. In my previous job, I was working with a lot of people who wants to be entrepreneur, who are already entrepreneur, and hearing about all the background story, you're like, why not me? And it's funny because on my first day, I say, I don't want to be entrepreneur. I'm not sure entrepreneur is for me. I'm happy to be employed and have all the comfort it came with. And one day you just wake up and you're like, nope, I want to do my journey. I want to try it. So never say never.
I love that. I didn't know this, but
Yeah.
I completely recognize myself as well, having said someday one thing and the next day I'm like, what? Who said that? I don't remember.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think also like being in Vancouver and in Canada, when I talk to people and say, oh, you know what, I'm starting a new career, had a PT, everybody was like, that's amazing, you're gonna be so good at that. And everybody was cheering me. Oh, you give your resignation later, congrats, and so on, cheering on that. That was really supportive. And I feel like if I've done that in France, I would have so much question about, are you sure? Like, is it worth it? Are you able like to pay your invoice at the end of the month? So I think I would have more questions. So be there. It's more like an environment to be entrepreneur and to try something new. Because people will say, congrats, you try it. Even like if one day you say, it was not for me, at least you try it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way about finding a supportive community here in Canada. And it feels like it's more mainstream, or like a lot of more people do this, reinvent themselves over
Yeah.
and over again.
Yeah.
So it's very comforting. Yeah.
Yeah. At one point, I remember I was on LinkedIn and I was watching a lot of posts about you have to be an entrepreneur to succeed in your career. And I also want to like say that you don't have to be an entrepreneur to succeed in your career, and we need employees. And I don't say that I would never go back to employee situation. We don't know, like for example, like I hurt my knee, so I will need a backup because the rehab is gonna take a while. So yeah, just take the opportunity, but also you can be entrepreneur in another way. You can do your own project, like I don't know, having a podcast, be like volunteer like for organization and taking more responsibility. So you can have your way to have your own project and building up something without looking for like money and so on. So I think entrepreneur is not just about a job, it can also be like the way of you want to see your life and just doing some projects. Sometimes I think myself like that, oh, that's a new project.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you can work for a company, in a company, and have an entrepreneurial mindset. And eventually, it's what people look for. It's just people who can question the statu quo and
Yeah.
come up with new initiatives and be passionate about the work they're doing. It doesn't have to be starting from scratch a brand new company. It can definitely be feeling aligned with the company's mission and being creative and finding new ways to move the mission forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think we call that flexipreneur also, like people who have a job and also on the other side they're trying to build up something, anything.
Absolutely. There's a game I think it's time
Okay.
we do. It's called the Wheel of Life, and we're going to spin the wheel. Let's go. Okay.
Okay.
Our category today will be celebrate and contribute. What's something you're really proud of right now, big or small?
Okay, so this journey for me, it's pretty new. Decided to be a personal trainer, still new, just 1 year of experience with clients and so on. And yesterday I had to say to a gym that I will be leaving soon. So I had to say goodbye to some of my clients. And the message that I received was just like crazy. That was priceless. You can know when the person is happy, but it's hard to have people saying out loud what they think about you, what they think about your work and what you're doing. I can see them like coming back week after week with the smile and be happy, be sweating. I'm like, okay, I've done a good job. That's cool. But having them like writing me some warm message, I was like, oh wow, that was crazy. So far, that's pretty. That I'm super like proud of. And yeah, just okay, like I can do it, and they enjoy my work and they was happy about it. So it just like comfort me on this new like decision to be a personal trainer. I'm like, okay, they were happy, so I should keep going.
Yeah, it gives me goosebumps. I can imagine. I can feel it through you telling the story. People, when they go out of their way, it's definitely proof that you've made a positive impact on them.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, a girl, I've been teaching her now for like a couple of months. So how it works, usually you have like 30-minute session to try, and at the end I was like, okay, do you want to keep going like personal training and so on? She was like, yeah, maybe I would give it a try. And she started with 3 sessions just to see. She never done personal training before. It was also focused on boxing, so learning boxing from scratch. And last time that I saw her, at the end, she say, oh, I never realized how much I will like boxing. So thank you for that. I was like, that's cool. That's really cool. Like being able like to help someone discover like a new hobby. That's fun. Like, okay, I can go to bed now. I'm happy with my day.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful impact.
Thank you.
I will go ahead and share as well my answer to this question, which was, what's something you're really proud of right now, big or small? So I've been hosting my nephew from France for the past 2 weeks, and he's 14-year-old. And I underestimated how much it would impact my, I guess, work-life balance or just my habits. Even though he's really nice, he's also at cooking camp this week, so he's not in the room during the day. But I've noticed that my habits have been rocked, and I've been nice with myself despite not feeling satisfied with the things I didn't accomplish. Like it's been more challenging than I was prepared for, but still I managed to just deal with it and give myself some grace. So I celebrate that.
That's a good one, and give you some perspective about one day maybe having a kid in your life. You're like, okay, I will have to think twice. I know sometimes you were so like, we love our routine. I think we are the same person on this point. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. And yeah, sometimes you just have to let it go. And it feels great sometimes to lose your routine and then to embrace it again. You're like, okay, I miss it actually. So it's cool and it's new. So you discover something new, having a teenager with you, that's pretty a big challenge as well.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely enjoy my routine, and I agree that when you lose something and you get back to it, you appreciate it even more. And what you said just about, being a parent, it did give me a trial run on being a parent because we do want kids. It's been like opening new ideas on what I would like to implement before we start a family. I will probably share more about this in another video, but there are some specific changes I would like to create for my habits.
Nice. I'm super curious about it. Definitely. Okay, that's thanks. A good topic. Yeah.
We will spin the wheel one more time.
Okay, let's go.
Work, career, mission is our category today. If you had unlimited resources, what project or mission would you pursue?
I would say having my own place, my own gym. I have an idea about that, how I want it to look, what is going to be the vibes and so on, but I think it's going to be that. Just like, okay, today I can just buy a place where I want and doing whatever I want inside. And in more like community way, I think I want to, it's not like I'm specialized myself in women, but helping women to be like more confident about self-defense and also confident in the body, in the mind. I think practicing a sport can help with that, and martial arts also, like being able to box, to know how to box, to say, okay, so maybe if at one point someone is coming to me, maybe I can hit the person. So if I can build this confidence to more women, I will be so happy about that. Especially like the young girl. I was teaching a training this week for like 6 to 10 years old. And so having the girl looking at me and say, oh wow, so you have a judo black belt, seeing the sparkle in the eyes. I'm like, okay, yes. And I want to share that with you. You can also be a black belt. You can also fight. Doesn't matter if you're a girl. You can fight, and I can tell you, you can also beat men. Yeah, be able to help more like women to be more confident about self-defense and be more confident to just walk out in the street and say, okay, I'm pretty safe. I can like defend myself. I can help my friends. I can help someone else in the bus. Doing something for that.
I'm so glad you shared this vision. I can see how it lights you up. And I really see it in the future for you. So I know we talk about unlimited resources. Like, what if you had unlimited resources?
Yeah.
But I feel this is very achievable and reachable, at least.
Yeah, true. But it's also like when you want to like touch a lot of people, like we kind of know that you need resources for that. Having a limited one could be a good one. Maybe having a gym like in every town. You never know.
I love that. I manifest this for
Let's
you.
go. Yeah, let's
I like
finger
your
crossed,
vision.
touch wood, whatever.
Yes, all of it. All of it.
What about you?
I think because I've been asking myself this question a couple of times every year for the past years.
Okay.
I can say that I'm doing like 90% what I would be doing if I was winning the lottery. The only difference would be maybe that I will rent a studio and decorate it with the furniture I want. Like I have my vision for the studio set of this podcast. That would maybe be the only difference, that I have my studio sets and high quality cameras and a camera crew and some video editors. So I will maybe gain a few years in speed, but I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing. My mission that I pursue is figuring out if I can build a business as a woman that keeps me sane. And if it's possible to build a business where you feel balanced. I talk about being balanced, and I'm enjoying doing this interview with you, and even though I have a little like sore throat, it's where I want to be. I don't want to be in bed recovering or doing nothing. I would freak out. Yes, I'm doing exactly what I would do if I had unlimited resources.
Yeah, that's funny because when you say like unlimited resources, we both say like we want a place. It's really like material stuff, something that you can touch. But actually, yeah, even without money, we can still be able to do what we want to do. We can still help sharing your story in your podcast and building up your community. For me, like I can still like help women. I have a lot of women every week's like coming to my training and so on. So I can still already like do this mission. It's just like money will give you like more opportunity when you have, for example, for me or for you, having your studio, then it's a lot of obstacle that you don't need to figure out anymore. For me, schedule, yeah, there is 8 hours in a day. If I have a gym for myself and I don't have to make sure either group training right now, I can do whatever I want it when I want it. So it's more about like opening the opportunity. And when you have money, you can share your message, advertising, and so crazy stuff. So, but it's funny because it's really like material. And actually, we can already do what we want with that.
Yeah, and with what you just said, it reminded me that I read somewhere that money is a magnifying glass. So if you don't know how to manage money when you have little, you will not know how to manage an amount of money.
Yeah.
I think if we manage to make an impact with the resources we have right now, with more money, it's just going to multiply that impact. But that means we need to have clarity already today.
Yeah, you need to have a plan. That's first. And we also say sometimes we say if we don't have money, we have to be creative. When you have some project coming on, you're like, okay, we don't have the budget for that, so we're gonna have to be creative. It that sometimes when you think about situation, you can find a lot of way to do it without like using a lot of money. Like, so ask around in your network. Sometimes you can find helps and find different way to do it.
If you're down for the challenge, I have 3 questions I would love to squeeze in.
Let's go.
Okay, with like maybe short fired answers.
Okay.
Okay, what is one win that you would like to share with us, either personal or professional?
Okay, personal one. So as you know, I've been injured, and this weekend I did run and swim. So shortly, my friends were doing like a friendly triathlon, so swimming, biking, running, and I was them to support them. My partner was there, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be 3 hours just watching them. I want to do my training, so like I'm gonna do the swim. I'm bad at swimming, so I did 700 of swimming. I don't know how, but I did them, and then I ran for 5K. And no pain. So I was like, that's cool. So that was my small, like, not small, but my big victory for this week. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And on the other side of a win, is there something you've learned about yourself or even your business that you would like to share with us?
I think for lesson, I would say be patient. We know that we say sometimes when you want to do something new, don't try to be ready to do that, but make sure you're prepared. And sometimes to be prepared, you need to be a little more patient and build up your milestone and your project step by step. Don't jump a step because then you may fall down a little bit later. So just sometimes take your time. Don't wait to be ready, but go slowly.
Is there a specific event that this lesson is related to?
For example, as a PT, we can see that summer is really like slow months. Everybody's away. And I kind of didn't know that because for me, I'm training every day. It doesn't matter if it's summer, winter, whatever, vacation, no, I'm training. But it's not what like 90% of the population is doing. So at one point you're like, okay, so July is going to be super quiet. August, maybe same. Okay, so maybe I should like find a little bit more backup and project to still having like incomes, but also like to keep it busy this time of the year.
So the lesson related to this experience is that jumping into this career, you didn't know that there were months that were more quiet.
Yeah.
And you wished you knew that earlier?
Yeah, I wish I knew that earlier, but also it's just like I don't have like a big lesson so far because I'm still pretty new. So I still like learning about every step and so on. Okay, so my answer for this one, it was like maybe do a little bit more research about how it's going to be. Chat with a lot of personal trainer, but really ask them the question and ask them also what are their background. Because sometimes you have people that they make money with their job and so on, they're happy with that, but maybe in the background they have like incomes for like other job and investment in the past. So they have different incomes. And they say, yeah, it's worth it. It's going to be easy. But when you go, you're like, oh, it's pretty hard to make money actually. So just like dig a little bit more, be more curious about how it works. If their time of the year is going to be a little bit more quiet, so maybe it would be a good time for you to just take some vacation instead of running about after all your clients and so on. Take more time to get more information.
Okay, I love
That's
that.
the better
I
answer.
can, I'm glad we took the time to dig a bit more into it because I think we need more real conversations about money because having interviewed a lot of women changing careers and starting new businesses, it's a bit of a big question mark, the big secret of like, how do you pay your bills? Like, are you having savings or someone else is paying the bills for you? It's kind of the big secret, but it's necessary to know.
Yeah.
I'm testing one more last question
Let's
with
go.
our conversation today, which is there a question that you would like me to ask maybe the next guest, or like that even you question yourself, like how do these women do that? It can be very maybe superficial or deep. Like for me it's like, how do people manage to do their hair and their nails and like look flawless while running a business? And it just, honestly, I just put makeup and do my hair for this interview, otherwise I have like, big eyes. And anyway, so any type of questions you may think of.
I saw a lot of women and I can see like sometimes like we don't have the same like priority. So it makes sense. Is it something that you want to try but you're scared of? For example, right now, I feel like a lot of people when they are in a certain age, no, I'm too old to try something new. So I'm like, okay, is there like something that you want to try, but you think you're too old for that? And maybe can you take the challenge that you would try it in the next week or months?
I love that. I could see a Sari dose with this challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. I like this question. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm giving this question to you. You can use it.
Take it. And for our listeners who want to learn more about you and what you do, where can they find you?
Yeah, Instagram will be the best channel to follow me. So it's marjorie.l.b. I'm sharing a little bit of everything. Could be my lifestyle in Vancouver. I love Vancouver. Try to be motivational for like being active. If you're not active, don't be ashamed. You can still follow me and maybe find something interesting.
I will add this resource and links on the Good in Motion podcast website, which is goodinmotion.ca.
If some people are in the Vancouver area, if they want to try boxing, kickboxing, just let me know. We'd be happy to introduce them to this new sport and maybe new journey soon.
That sounds awesome. Yes, please, listeners, do. Actually, I wanted to take a second to share that I know it can sound creepy, but I've been looking at my data from the listeners, and we have people listening from Canada, the US, the UK, Germany, Greece, and Australia. So, hi everyone, wherever you listen to. I may not know all of you. I thought I did. But yes, and you can still find us online on Instagram and reach out if you wish to. Thank you, Marjorie, for this beautiful conversation. I had a really good time.
Thanks, Juliette, for your time.